Welcome to Discover Indie Film. I'm your host, Jeff Howard, and I've got Ty Clancey with me. Hey, Ty.
Hello. Thanks for having me here.
It is great to have you here. All right, so we just recorded your interview podcast, and now we are doing your 4 Questions podcast.
Beautiful.
So for those who don't know you, they should get to know you better and listen to the podcast before this one.
Yes.
But I will introduce you as the man who made Thank You for Staying, which was an official selection at the Sherman Oaks Film Festival in 2021. And as you know, you took home 2 awards. You got Outstanding Short Film Horror and Outstanding Screenplay Horror.
I'm flabbergasted.
And that was from the Filmmakers Board, which I think I started to try to say in the last podcast, is an award decided by your peers.
Yes.
Which, you know, as people love those grand jury awards, like where the selection, but honestly, like a jury of your peers saying means this was the best written horror movie of the year.
Because they've been through it. To make their own pieces.
I really think I think it means a lot. It's funny because I've met filmmakers who have said, the one I like best is Audience Award because I want the audience to. But this is an audience of your peers.
Exactly.
So anyway, that is the story about Thank You for Staying, which you can now watch. It is on the Discover Indie Film TV series. If you go to Amazon Prime Video, hopefully on a large TV, open the Prime Video app, type in Discover Indie Film into the search field. It should autocomplete somewhere around FIL, right? Because thankfully not too many people, there's not a Discover Fishing show on there yet. But that was improv.
Discover Fighting.
I'm going to pat myself on the back for Discover Fishing.
Discover Fig Collecting.
Discover Financial Awareness.
There we go.
Anyway,
Okay, we go.
I should have stopped at fishing. That's my fault. But, so watch it, type that in, and then watch Season 7. Ty's film, Thank You for Staying, is in episode 4 with 3 other wonderful short horror films. It's the rare all horror episode. Normally I mix it up, but that one, they just all go together really well.
I love it.
So
I love it.
Enjoy that.
Please do.
And this podcast, we're just going to have Ty answer the 4 questions, which are 3 favorite films, a film that's underrated, a film that's overrated, and a lesser known film for people to seek out. Just gives you an idea of his taste. And hey, if you agree with someone's taste, odds are you like their film, right?
That's true.
And if you disagree, then you want to see what the hell kind of film he made anyway. So it's a win-win.
Oh, I hope I get these right.
There are no wrong answers. There's only bad answers.
Okay, good.
But I don't consider any bad answers. So please, here, feel free. You want to start? You want to name your favorites?
Sure. Yes. Okay. So my 3 favorite films. There's 2 that are definite. All right. The Big Lebowski is up there. I love the Coen brothers, and that film I think just has everything going for it. The storyline you got to watch like 10 times to understand what the hell's going on. I love the characters are amazing. The actors are brilliant, and the filmmaking itself is just fun. It's just fun. You know, the way they lace in Credence into the soundtrack. I think an amazing. It's one of those that you just get sucked into watching anytime it comes on.
And the dream sequences.
Dream sequences are amazing.
They just throw art films in there.
Absolutely, it's fantastic. So that's up there. The other one that is up there is There Will Be Blood. I love Paul Thomas Anderson, and that one in particular is, you know, from the Johnny Greenwood soundtrack to Daniel Day-Lewis just knocking it out of the park. Paul Dano trying to, you know, keep up with him, and he does amazingly. And you know, I just that film captivated me the first time I saw it, and it just blew my mind.
A film that there's not a word spoken in the first 25 minutes.
How about that?
And how much story is told?
How about that?
I think it's just that's one of my.
I could watch Daniel
fave.
Day-Lewis's face as Daniel Plainview for hours. He was just magnetic.
Amazing film.
Now the third film, I'm going to go quick because I'm going to cheat because it's just such a tough thing, but it's probably somewhere in the Kubrickish Spielbergilium world, you know, whether it's Fear and Loathing or E.T. or Strangelove, you know, it's somewhere in there. I couldn't pick a third without at least mentioning those 3 filmmakers.
Right.
Because they more than anyone have inspired me. I mean, I love the Coen brothers. They obviously inspire me, and I love Paul Thomas Anderson. But those other ones, I think, Spielberg, Kubrick, and Gilliam to some point, but they said, give me a genre, I'll make it. And I'll make probably one of the best films of that genre. So how can you not put them in the best?
I'm just going to look you in the eyes and say, in my top 3 is Brazil.
Oh, yes. There you go.
Because Terry Gilliam, oh my God, the level of genius, he was probably too much for Hollywood. It was amazing that he managed to get them to fund some movies in the first place. But yeah, amazing.
So that takes me into the next question, which is the most underrated. Okay. And I was, again, going to cheat by saying basically all of Gilliam's is underrated. I mean, I grew up on Baron Munchausen, right, which was a total flop, but I loved it when I was a kid. Time Bandits, then I graduated into like Fear and Loathing was just my college days, and it just spoke to me, And then 12 Monkeys, I recently watched again, and I watched I devoured every behind the scenes I could find on 12 Monkeys, and it was just so fascinating because that was one of the only ones he never really wrote, he just came up board and just knocked it out of the park. So I'm going to say Gilliam as a filmmaker is underrated because, like you said, Hollywood couldn't handle it. He was too weird and too out there. And I just think that when you look at his films, it is, he's Tim Burton-esque. Like Tim Burton creates this world that you look at and you're like, that's Tim Burton. You look at Terry Gilliam's world and you're like, wow, that's definitely, And just if you ever seen Lost in La Mancha, it's just, it's so heartbreaking. But he struggles through it with such grace and pomp.
I try to avoid talking about myself, but what the fuck? We're friendly. So
go for it.
One of my great regrets in life is I was at the Telluride Film Festival one year, and my first wife, my ex-wife, and I were riding down an elevator, and it went down a floor, and then the doors opened, and Terry Gilliam gets on, and I didn't say anything. Oh, and because I was like, you grew up in L.A., and you're like, you're not supposed to bother people, but how often does Terry Gilliam get told, I think you're the greatest filmmaker alive. You are my guy. Brazil, everything. Like I just should have said something like, I think you're a genius.
Yeah,
because how often does he hear it?
You got to. I mean, they may hear it a lot, but no one doesn't like to hear it.
Yeah, but how many people know what he looks like?
Probably not many. You
do.
Yeah.
I do.
Only people who he really cares what they think, I think, is the people who know him as a filmmaker.
Yeah. So I'm so mad at him. If I had a time machine.
I had a story like that with Christopher Nolan, except I did go up and I just said, basically, thank you for making the films you did, because I love his films too. He's got to be up there, but he's still going, baby. He's still rocking it.
He's still going, although he almost seems like conscious of following in Kubrick's steps.
Absolutely.
Of going genre to genre.
He hasn't done a comedy yet, has he? Like that was Kubrick's thing that he
made the funniest film ever made.
Damn. Strangelove is so funny, and so is and
Eyes Wide Shut. I can't stop laughing.
It's hilarious. Okay, so that would be my answer to that question.
Well, that's an excellent answer. Yeah. Just the Gilliam filmography.
Yes. Third question. I don't want to spend too much time on it because I don't like harping on people, but and this is mainly because it came on the heels of There Will Be Blood, but The Master by Paul Thomas Anderson was difficult to get through. I think, maybe I got to see it more times, but the acting is impeccable, right? Philip Seymour Hoffman, incredible. Joaquin Phoenix, incredible. The storyline, I just was like, I get it that you're trying to, knock this repetition into me, but it was just grating and irritating.
I wonder if I would enjoy it more now that I've seen all the Dianetics, all the Scientology documentaries. Now I have more knowledge of what he was exposing. Really, like it is critical.
It was absolutely.
And when the first time I saw it, it was kind of lost on me, the Hubbard connection.
Okay, yeah. I think I knew that going in, that there was this
I knew it was, but I didn't know.
thing.
I didn't know how awful Hubbard was.
I just, my expectations were just through the roof, and that's
how
my
could they
problem.
not be?
That's
Yeah.
my problem. Is that it came after There Will Be Blood, and I was just riding this huge crest of Paul Thomas Anderson can do no wrong. You know, Boogie Nights is another one up there.
I'm
It's
with
just
you.
so amazing.
Everything he did.
So yeah, unfortunately, The Master is my overrated movie.
Fair enough. And you're not saying it's a bad film.
Not
You're
a bad
just
film.
saying,
I'm just saying it did not speak to me.
Yeah.
I love watching scenes from it. Like the scene of both of them in the jail is amazing. You know, I love seeing it in bite-sized elements. But to watch the whole thing again would be like, you know, I feel like the scene in Clockwork Orange where he's just got, you know, his eyes, you know, I think
for sure.
I would have a problem.
For sure. Another Kubrick callback.
Yeah, exactly. I can't help it.
No, I'm with you. In fact, sometimes my overrated is a film I love. Because overrated can be a film you love. But the one I nail is I love the Coen brothers. And I wish that No Country for Old Men had not defeated There Will Be Blood for Best Picture.
Okay.
Because that is not the best Coen brothers movie.
I agree.
And it's not better than There Will Be Blood. And so why did it get Best Picture above There Will Be Blood? So I'm like, that's amazing film that is overrated.
Yes, I actually don't disagree with you on that. I actually, so both those movies were out on my birthday. My birthday was actually yesterday, but thank you. And so they came out on or they didn't come out on my birthday, but they were both out. And what I wanted for my birthday was to see a double feature of There Will Be Blood and No Country for Old Men. And I watched There Will Be Blood first, and that doomed No Country for Old Men. You know, I don't think I understood that No Country for Old Men had no score, right? Had no score. And after listening to Johnny Greenwood just take you on this aural journey with There Will Be Blood, I felt it fell flat. And it's the only time I've ever really done a double feature in the same day. And yeah, I had the same experience with No Country. I mean, once again, performances are great, you know. God, they're just, you know, some of those characters are the best ever created. But as a whole, should it have beaten There Will Be Blood? No. Call me, Academy. We need to talk about this.
No, it didn't. Yeah. And it's a great film. It's
a great film.
It's just...
It just wasn't better.
It's not better, and for that reason, overrated is not an insult. That's all I'm trying to share.
It's overrated. Yeah. Okay, the fourth question is the what is it? Rare film.
Yeah, lesser known
film that people should seek out is a film called Thunder Road with Jim Cummings. Jim Cummings wrote, directed, and acted in this film, and it is a great story of a short film that was then made into a feature film. But literally the short film is the first scene of, like, he thought ahead. This movie has incredible single takes. They're not cinematically complex oneers or anything like that. They're just incredible performances in a single take. And his character, I think at the very beginning, the first scene, he's doing a eulogy for his dead mother at the funeral. And that scene alone, that was the short film. Okay, so when you watch the film, you realize that opening scene was what he used to, you know, catapult this thing into the feature. And so just watching that is I think fun. But then watching what he did with it and where he took that character in that film, it's really something. It's a tour de force performance by him, and I can't believe he has done a couple movies since then. Unfortunately, I haven't seen them, so I don't know whether he kept it up, but that film alone should have gotten him all the work in the world as an actor and as a director and a writer. I mean, it was so brilliant, I think, what he was able to put together with that. All right. Thunder Road.
Nice one. I haven't seen it, so intriguing.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of just because the short into a feature thing, right? Mm-hmm. That's the Bottle Rocket story, right? Bottle Rocket.
Yes.
By the way, I still think that every time I see Bottle Rocket, I'm like, it just sort of stayed a short. Because I love that the opening so sequence great. Of breaking your brother out of the mental hospital when he's free to go.
He's free to go.
That's the great. And then the rest of it is just kind of spinning the wheels.
I mean, stealing from your parents was pretty great, right?
Yeah.
I did like that. There's a lot of great things to like in Bottle Rocket.
But
that's
a
cult classic.
I love the idea that And hey, every film he made since then has been brilliant.
He's another one on the top
fan.
of the list. You know, I think the only reason he doesn't get in the top is that I just feel like his aesthetic is more or less similar. You know, like it's always kind of quirky. It's always kind of like a diorama.
Yeah, he literally doesn't even try to change it.
It's beautiful, and it's his. And when you look at it, you say, that is a Wes Anderson movie. But I think if you look at Kubrick, Spielberg, like they can go off and almost like Meryl Streep go lose themselves in another genre, you know, and like she can just melt into a role. And I think that those other filmmakers have that capability of just sort of melting into whatever genre they're doing.
Absolutely. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we made it through pretty quick because we agreed too much.
We did. We had nothing to debate on. What are your favorite films? Have you shared them? You're not supposed to.
Well, you know,
I've already said it, so you can tell me now.
Well, I can tell you some. The funny thing is, if someone was a true hardcore Discover Indie Film podcast fan,
you're going to give up
they
the
know
ghost
we
right
went
now.
from episode 99 to 101. Now we're in the 300s, but somewhere around 70, a filmmaker said, for the 100th episode, I want to interview you and have you answer these questions.
Okay, and that happened?
And no, never happened. He lives in France, and we're supposed to do it we did it by Skype back then. Now Zoom exists, and every once in a while we joke about how we still have to do it. So that, in theory, I was supposed to do it for that. But since you asked, my pat answer is Brazil, Strangelove, and The Graduate.
Okay, very nice. Very nice.
For me, it's often 2001 and Strangelove battling.
Yes, I was on the fence.
Yeah, because which one? And sometimes I'm like, deep down they're both perfect, but Strangelove makes me so happy.
It does.
And the question is favorite, not best made.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And
but
favorite,
then there
like
will be
Strangelove
Blood
can
wants
bring,
to be on there.
Yeah.
And you know what? Children of Men wants to be in there.
Oh God.
I think that film is
Cuarón. Birdman also. I mean, I know that's in your YouTube, but like still, it's just those films are so good.
I mean,
Children of Men though was something.
It's a level. It's a level that like I love Roma, but like it's not as
no.
But it's not fair to hold someone to
Absolutely.
their highest standard.
I mean, it's I don't need to get into the Fablemans, but like it's a bit like when you're telling your own story, like I think Cuarón was doing with
Roma.
Roma, I think that I don't know some of the. Well, I don't need to get into it. I'm just totally making things up right now.
No, and the funny thing is, it's been a long time since I've seen any of those because that's actually my top 3, almost college era. Right? Like when you're a young, excited person and you're watching tons and tons of stuff.
Yes.
So that's why, like, it's so hard for me. Like, what do you do once you're in your 50s? Like, how do you narrow it down to 3?
I know. It was very difficult. That's why my third answer had to be a combination, a smorgasbord of...
You threw in 3 extra filmmakers.
I did.
That's true.
I knew if I did it fast, you'd not stop me.
Although, there was a film I wanted to throw in there. Oh, yeah.
What?
Whale Rider.
Whale Rider. Is that... okay, yeah, that's the New Zealand one. That was very, very good. That girl was so good. Did she win Best Actor? She was nominated,
No, I think she was nominated.
She was so good.
And I kind of want to put that in the top 3 because that's the film. It doesn't just make me cry. Mm-hmm. I'm still crying when the credits end. And I'm crying because it's beautiful, not because it's sad.
Yes, exactly.
And as a repressed white cisgendered American male, I can't express my feelings unless a movie makes me
feel
That's
something. Why we need the movies.
So yeah,
to squeeze these feelings out.
And then
of us.
to be, I hate to sound like a virtual signaler, but Whale Rider was directed by a woman.
Yeah,
and so I kind of want a woman on the list.
Yeah. No,
which is kind of like treating women like they're different, which is kind of wrong too, but it's also a perfect film.
Sure, it really is. It really is.
And now you've got me thinking about the fact that how do I get? I got to get Taika Waititi on there too.
I know. Yeah, Taika Waititi's so good. He's so
Hunt for the Wilder People and Jojo Rabbit are flawless.
So good.
Jojo Rabbit again. I could cry thinking about the ending where they're dancing to Bowie singing Heroes in German.
Yeah. Oh, that was a beautiful movie. I mean, Tarantino is also,
he's amazing.
He's amazing. It's tough to choose. You ever seen Once Were Warriors?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
when you talk
about the Maori,
that was it was New Zealand, right? It just made me think of that. That's another movie that sticks. It sticks in my memory as having been an incredibly emotional piece with just incredible acting.
I know. What's up with New Zealand? How come this relatively small country
they're churning them out?
Has amazing films. Not to mention that Tolkien trilogy thing. I mean,
that thing.
They kind of deserve credit for that. But I mean, so many great things are coming out of New Zealand.
They just have. I think they have a really good film program, like a government film fund program that they.
But like,
I wish we had here better.
Rhys Darby, who's in half of Taika Waititi's stuff.
Is
he the funniest human being on earth?
He's the sweetest man too. I got to work with him on Wrecked. He was on Wrecked, the TBS show. So funny. We were doing some stuff that was just total improv, and he was just such a sweetheart and so funny.
I cannot get enough of him.
He's a favorite for sure.
If he was in the, let's say I despised a certain whatever, I could. Let's just say I'm not going to go see Top Gun, Maverick, just 'cause it's not for me. They didn't make it for me. They made it for. They don't need me. Right. They're going to get their billion.
Got it. Yep.
But if Rhys Darby was in it, I would suffer through it. Because I'd want to see him.
You want to see him in that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'd watch him. I'd watch him if he put up a YouTube video of him going to the bathroom. I'd watch him. But waist up.
It would be good. Yes,
I'm not saying
good.
I'm not saying I want to invade his privacy. I'm just saying I should have said if he was reading the phone book on YouTube.
There you go.
Because he would make reading the phone book.
He'd kill it.
So entertaining.
He'd kill it.
He was so good in that Our Flag Means Death, but
I haven't seen that yet. I got to see it.
Oh yeah, you got to see it. That's a big commitment. So you don't have time.
Just a 5-month-old.
5-month-old.
It's taking all my time to watch all these movies.
Yeah, you can.
I know. I do. There's the 3 a.m. feedings. I sit and post up in front of the TV and I watch the stuff that I haven't been able to watch. I got Severance out of the way doing that. That was a great show. Seen a lot of screeners, and that it's nice.
Yeah,
actually have time to do.
By the way, not that I'm going to commend you for being the kind of dad who does a 3 a.m. feeding, because I know some women who whose husbands said something to them along the lines of, "Well, one of us should sleep, and you're the milk machine, so why don't you take care of all this stuff?" And I was like, "Wow, what kind of guy does that?"
Yeah, that's brutal. No, you got to step up. You got to step up, guys. I'm also a night owl, so I can't take all the credit for being, handling the nighttime stuff. But it's lately kind of when I'm only able to get the work done is at night, and so I stay up and then handle the midnight feeding, and then sleep in till 8 p.m. 8 a.m. It's not much sleeping, really.
Not a lot of sleep. You definitely need. Well, you have my sympathy, but hey, the good news is, you're only 15 years away from that kid knowing everything and thinking you're the dumbest person alive.
Yeah. Really looking forward to that.
Although our 15-year-old, she doesn't think we're dumb. She just thinks she knows everything.
Of course. There's something in the adolescent teenage brain that just it just turns the confidence level up to 11.
And I love it. I think it's so cool. That's the problem.
Can't wait.
Is when her mom's really angry at her, I just want to go, it's good. It's good. It's good. She has to do this.
Exactly.
She has to. As long as the grades are up. That's what I always say.
There you go.
The grades are good. If the grades are good, I'll go to the mat for you. You want to sleep over your friends 2 nights in a row?
Smart.
Just don't lose one of those A's.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, anyway, this has definitely gotten away from us. But it's fun.
I'm sure it has been fun.
God forbid anyone ever contacts me and goes, you know what? The best part of that podcast was when you just talked about parenting. I'd be like, so you want me to do a parenting podcast? You want Happy to do it.
Yes.
Happy to do it.
Parenting and filmmaking.
The worst thing is that, podcasting is fun and completely, there's absolutely, there's less profit in this than making shorts and like shorts.
Yeah. Well, this has been fun. Thank you for having me. And it's you're a very easy person to talk to. So thank you.
I appreciate that. All right, well, I'll get us out of here. For those of you who, the man with excellent taste, because he said I'm a nice guy, is Ty Clancey. And you can, hey, if you go to @TyClancy on the social media, or tyclancy.com, or victorhousefilms.com. See, I did type them in. Nice. There is a typo in Victor House.
It's okay.
But I will fix that before I put it in the show notes.
Fantastic.
I'll even check the link. Because who knows? But those will all be clickable links so you can learn more about Ty, because you obviously just heard his list, so you know he has good taste.
There we go.
So then you got to watch his work. All right.
Please do. Please do.
And you can do that if you go to Amazon Prime Video.
Yes.
And type in Discover Indie Film in the search field and just enjoy. There's 7 seasons. Who knows? By the time you listen to this, there could be season 8 could come out.
Yeah.
Guess what? There's something secret about. I'm going to share a season 8 secret with Ty.
Okay.
All dance films.
Oh, wow.
I was invited to be a guest programmer for a dance film festival in the UK. And I said to the head programmer, I said, these are so good. Do you want to take over for me? And so I'm handing her season 8, and she's choosing the films from the Dance Film Festival.
That's great.
All the award winners and then honorable mentions.
Wow.
Because I cannot get enough of watching professional dance shot by a talented filmmaker. Dance films are
little
remarkable.
known fact. One of my jobs back in the day was I used to film youth dance competitions and then sell the parents DVDs of their kids, numbers.
Excellent.
Except it wasn't they were not artistic dance. It was just shooting the stage.
Yeah.
But I have skin in that game. And I appreciate that the whole season is dedicated
the skill
to
that goes into, and you probably could say to yourself, if I made a dance film, because there's just some amazing work.
I can't wait to see it.
Such cool
can't wait
shit.
to see it.
And some of it's so abstract, and then some of it's so realistic. It's just really cool.
Beautiful.
Cool.
I look forward to that.
Shit.
Well, hopefully I'll be back next in the years coming with the short I just shot. So hopefully we'll be able to do this again.
That'll be excellent. All right, so I will name the rest of the things I'm supposed to name. Okay, so I named discoverindiefilm.com, and did I say @DIFwins? Maybe I didn't. I think I just named your stuff. So that's how you learn about this podcast. Please like, subscribe, review, blah, blah, blah. Go on Prime Video, buy Season 7, and then actually give it a 5-star review. I don't care if you hate it. Give it a 5-star review. And whatever, film festivals, I met Ty because his film, Thank You for Staying, was at the Sherman Oaks Film Festival. We hold it every November, ShermanOaksFF.com, @ShermanOaksFF on social media, Sister Festival, Film Invasion Los Angeles. I'll enunciate that better because someone once said, did you say evasion? I'm like, no, we're not evading.
Invasion.
Yeah. FilmInvasionLA.com, @FilmInvasionLA on social media. And yeah, I'll mention the last thing, which is for fun. If you can use marijuana responsibly, you should go to watchhitv.com, HITV. If you don't know how to spell watch, you must be really high. But anyway, editor's note, every time I say Hi TV, I should have actually said TVHi. The service has been rebranded. It is called TVHi, as in watchtvhi.com, TVHi. And you can learn more about it on social media if you go to @WatchTVHi. And that's always TVHI. Back to the podcast. Go to watchhitv.com. It's a smart TV app where everything is curated to be they're all amazingly wonderful films that are even better if you watch them while you're high. But they are good when you're not high.
Hey, I can't wait to check them out.
There's some good shit on there.
Nice.
All right, Ty.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for listening.
Goodbye, everybody.